What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. We have some news regarding the campaign that we have to talk about today because it completely changes Modern Warfare 3's campaign and also might change some of your perception of MW3. I've talked a lot about it on this channel, how I feel as MW3 is just a glorified expansion to MW2. Well, with MW3, we're getting open world zombies, something we didn't have in MW2. We're also getting an open world campaign. Not a complete open world campaign, it's going to be a semi open world with certain missions being open world, but this is still completely changing the game. This is not something we've seen before in Call of Duty. This is a brand new innovation. And I think it addresses a concern that many in this community have had in the past, that they feel as if the campaign is far too linear, and this is going to change that. Now, I feel as if they've kind of forgotten that Black Ops 2 exists, because Black Ops 2 campaign was one of the best in the franchise, and it was actually the first non-linear campaign that Call of Duty had because it had multiple different endings, choices you had to make. And they've never gone back to that, which is disappointing to say the least. But at least moving from linear to non-linear with an open world element is a nice change of pace, and will probably get me playing this campaign. This is how you turn people who are skeptical of your game into believers of your game. This is one of those changes that I'm really glad that Sledgehammer decided to make. This is an innovation. This is a step forward. This is them showing me that this time the game is going to be different. This is the type of news that I've been waiting for. Let's all start the hype train again, because I believe it should be leaving the station soon. This is very good for the Call of Duty community. So let's dive into exactly what the open combat missions will entail. First and foremost, Modern Warfare 3's open combat missions are a semi-open world, taking place in a large area where players will have free reign to complete the mission in any way they like. Now, honestly, the linear campaign system allows you to complete most missions however you like. You can go with the stealth approach, you can go with a guns a-blazing approach, but I feel as if the semi-open world will expand your decisions, which we'll talk about in a second. According to Robert Pitts, Associate Director of Level Design at Sledgehammer Games, open combat missions are intentionally dispersed throughout the campaign to create a seamless, intertwined experience between them and traditional cinematic missions. I feel as if we got a cinematic mission during the campaign reveal. It would have been much better if we got one of these open world campaign reveals instead. Just so that you could showcase to the community that, hey, this is what we're doing that's innovative. This is what we're doing that's different. These missions take players to open areas such as the countryside, an apartment complex, and industrial park, including specific areas of Verdansk. Following the nonlinear structure, players can choose numerous angles to approach them. Here's a list of some examples in which players can approach missions based on their preferred playstyles. So this is the expansive list on how you can play these open combat missions. Stealth approach, guns a-blazing, using your loadout, picking up enemy ordnance, so this would be using all different kinds of weaponry, guns, and equipment dropped by enemies. Scavenging for more. In campaign missions, players can now find loose loadout items, boxes, or even abilities to swap to another loadout mid-mission via special loadout crate. On foot, employ a traditional movement strategy featuring boots-on-the-ground combat. Parachuting or parkour. Employ a more dynamic approach to missions with plenty of verticality and unconventional movement options. In water, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, utilizing vehicles or utilizing kill streaks. Not bad. I'm a fan of all of this. What it allows you to do is allows you to customize the MW3 experience personally for yourself. And this is the first time we've seen this in a Call of Duty campaign. Normally your choices are very limited. If you're going to use a kill streak, it's because the game is predetermining that you have to use a Predator missile or an AC-130. You don't just get to pick one up all willy-nilly. That's the change here, and that's why I'm so positive on this change, because it's actually innovative. It's actually something we haven't seen before. So kudos to Sledgehammer Games. They are finding ways to get me excited after they disappoint me. You know, I wasn't very high on this game after seeing the campaign reveal, but with this news, which is what they should have showcased during the campaign reveal, I can get behind it a little bit more. Now, in classic Call of Duty fashion, it's always 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or in some cases, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But we found out a little bit more about MW3 with this campaign release as they showcased the user interface for campaign. And I'll show you it on screen right now, and I want you guys to see if you notice anything. Do you notice the fact that it's the same as MW2? Remember the UI that we absolutely criticized to the moon all year long and was never changed? Yeah, it's back again. And I understand why. This is Call of Duty's HQ. This is the way that they want all of their UIs to look. But it's not a good UI. It's not a good user interface by any means. The usability of it is horrendous. It feels as if I am scrolling through a streaming service to try to find a television show to distract me from my disappointing life, instead of a video game that's supposed to distract me from my disappointing life. I want this franchise to just throw this UI out. Never use it again. It is terrible. It sucks. Just please, can we change it a little bit? Please. I want it to be simplified. We figured out how Call of Duty UIs should look back in like COD 4. Why can't we go back to that? Why do we need this overly complex, convoluted user interface that bogs down the game, that simply makes it perform worse? It complicates you just navigating menus. It should not be this way. There's videos all over YouTube about how to find campaign in MW2. You didn't need that before in older Call of Duty games because it was super simple to figure out. But now that they've tried to modernize the UI, I don't know what they're doing. They've essentially made the UI just the worst, and it affects quality of life on your game. We've talked a lot of positives when it comes to MW3, but the UI isn't one of them, and it can't be one of them until it faces a major overhaul. And I know I'm not alone in this. I know that we're stuck with this situation right now, but I feel as if we need to criticize it as much as possible. We need to simplify it. We need to make it better. Back when MW2 released, there were oodles of people in this community that were making their own UIs that were similar to Black Ops Cold War, that were similar to older Call of Duties, that looked better, that functioned better. And for whatever reason, Activision is going forth with this awful UI system. We're not on Hulu. We're on Call of Duty, guys. I'm not sure if this is like Bobby Kotick's child, like this is the first time that he made his own UI and they're just so worried about telling him that it's awful that they refuse to do anything about it. But like, this isn't a functional UI. I mean, in practice it works just fine, but like, let's talk about it seriously here. No other game has this bad of a UI. You're supposed to be the best shooter out there and you have the worst user interface. And as much as people don't want to talk about it, user interfaces matter. It should be easy and simple to navigate your menus, not convoluted and complex like what Call of Duty's made it to be. And I don't understand why they want to go this route. I get that they want some consistency between Call of Duty's mainline games and COD Mobile, but this isn't it. You can make a much better UI that holds up a consistency level better than this. I am so disappointed that this UI is back and it's not fixed. This is like the one gripe that's not gameplay related that I really feel as if it needs to be addressed ASAP. So we'll see what Sledgehammer Games does. We'll see if the community rallies behind this UI returning and wants to see major change. But only time will tell. Anyways, I still feel as if there's some good that we touched on today with the campaign and the open missions, so I do want to end with that positive note that I am happy to see some true innovation in Call of Duty again, and I'm excited to see what this open mission system brings to the Modern Warfare 3 campaign. So that's it for today's video. I thank you guys very much for watching as usual. Let me know what you think down below about the open combat missions, about the UI returning. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.